derogatory terms like cronies and stooges, applying that by having a political affiliation or having been involved in political life somehow makes you a bad person or should debar you from contributing to state organisations or state agencies. I think it's wrong. I've heard him make this comment in relation to the guards, I've heard him make this comment in relation to the judiciary, I've heard him make this comment in relation to state boards. Yes, we need to have transparent procedures in place for the appointment of people to state boards. My colleague, the Minister for Public Expenditure and Reform, on behalf of the government, outlined those reforms this week. Yes, we have made mistakes. My party's made mistakes. I would suggest every party and every independent TD in this House has made mistakes in this regard, going back over the years. The point is that we put the reforms and we put the mechanisms in place now. But in doing so, let's not suggest unfairly that everybody who serves on any board or was appointed to a Garda position or to a judicial position is somehow not able or is somehow tired. And I really think that sort of commentary where you can come in and kind of just shout and roar and make wide statements, then leave the House and not actually listen to my response, which you requested for me to give, is unhelpful. Yes, we need to reform the system. But you know, we've had Deputy Ross in the past suggest various individuals for senior appointments to banking positions now, and I think if I named those individuals, which I won't do, Lasky and Corla, I think I might even make him blush. So let's not try to be whiter than white here. Let's actually look at the system. Let's introduce the reforms, and let's do that together. We also had a comment, and to conclude on this, in relation to the broader taxation issue, global taxation issues, and while it's not directly related to this bill, I think it's fair that it's brought up in the context of international banking. But let's not again pretend that there's nothing happening in relation to this. We have an OECD discussion, we have the BEPS process, we had the Department of Finance open this process to public consultation and submissions were received. We have the first series of reports. It is fair to say that Ireland, as a small open economy with a small population, needs to move in line with our international partners. We need global action on this. It is a global situation. That's not to say, and I see Deputy Mathews looking animations, that's not to say that there aren't measures that the Irish government can take and may take, and we obviously have a budget next Tuesday. But there is an interesting report out on the issue of corporation tax from the SRI out this week. I think it was published with their quarterly economic commentary, which does some modelling of what would happen if our corporation tax had been increased. If our corporation tax had been increased in terms of an impact on jobs and investment. I think it makes interesting reading in relation to those who think that slapping extra taxation on business will somehow or other not have any impact on jobs and investment. And I'd pose, you suggested I read Timothy Geithner's book. I'd suggest you have a look at the SRI report out this week. It's fresh off the presses, and I think you should have a read of it and would be interested in your feedback on it. But let me just conclude by saying I have no doubt there will be an opportunity to discuss the matters raised by deputies as this bill continues to progress through the House. I want to thank my officials and I'd like to thank deputies for their contributions. I look forward to having these further discussions. I commend the bill to the House, and I would ask people in consideration of this legislation to remember the purpose. It's to make Ireland competitive, to continue to attract funds to this country, to continue to create jobs and investment. That's a challenge, a collective challenge, and one which I look forward to engaging. Thank you.
That concludes the debate, and now put the question. The question is that.
Just very briefly, remember my opening remarks? I wonder if for an answer to a question, you might like to just make a comment on it. My opening remarks of welcome and good wishes to you and to Dr. Liam Toomey as chair of the Finance Committee. Just as maybe it's an opportunity for me to ask, any chance that the government might like to reappoint me to that committee? Could you ask? Thanks, Lester Hurlick.
Not appropriate.